When it comes to Chelsea Football Club, the news is never boring, and one of these days you start getting absolute news that comes out from left to right and you're like, what the hell is going on? Romelu Lukaku to Saudi Arabia, apparently that deal is on. Kalidou Koulibaly is potentially getting sold to Inter Milan. Andre Onana to Chelsea is actually a credible source and information, but the one that really blew my socks off is Kylian Mbappe to Chelsea. Kylian Mbappe hands in a transfer request from PSG, and we get a confirmation from a very reliable source about the status and the nature of Chelsea's interest. Guys, it's not a good one. We're not interested. I'll break it down and I'll not get your hopes up because I don't like doing that. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Kavkas View. I know all of you came for the Mbappe news, so we're going to just break down the Mbappe news, then get into the rest of the stuff. I'm still in the Dominican. I'm still enjoying myself, still trying to get my tan on. But now let's talk about the Kylian Mbappe news. So, last year, Kylian Mbappe signed a 2-year deal with a +1. The reason Kylian signed one of those deals was there was external pressure for him to stay at PSG. He wanted to move on to Real Madrid. PSG even rejected a bid of 200 million euros with 6 months or 12 months left. I remember it was wild, right? PSG said, no, money is not an option. We don't want it. They ended up giving Kylian the keys to the kingdom. They gave him the castle. They gave him the whole of Paris. Qatari owners came down and said, brother, whatever you want is yours. And guess what? He signed the deal. It was a 2+1. So what has happened now? They've had a really unsuccessful year. Promises were broken that were given to Kylian Mbappe. And now all of a sudden, Kylian Mbappe looks set to be leaving next summer. Kylian Mbappe has written up a formal request and leaked it to the media. Allegedly, that's what the sources in France are saying, that he will not be re-signing. That option of +1 will not be getting triggered. The bird agrees with us. He will not be getting triggering that deal. So what has that done all of a sudden? It means that PSG cannot afford to lose him on a free. Don't let £250 million assets just walk out the door for free, right? PSG have got money, but they're not stupid. So what's going to happen now? It looks like there's a couple of weeks for PSG now to actively sell Kylian Mbappe, or they have to find a way to keep him and get him to re-sign. This saga is going to go on. Clubs like Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Real Madrid have been following him closely. That's one thing we know. The Times are reporting Chelsea are very interested, but Ben Jacobs has come out today and rebutted all of it. He said they're not interested. They know they can't get him, basically, and there's no point trying to chase somebody where the interest won't be reciprocated and you're just going to waste your time. So the reality is, would Chelsea be interested in Kylian Mbappe? 100%. But missing out on the Champions League has made it near impossible financially, attractionally, and more importantly, this is the big one. We're just not that level of club at the moment. I think what we need to remember is we have really fallen off the pedestal of the world elite in the last 2 years. Since that Champions League win to now, we have really fallen off. And we need to start growing up and start in developing our pattern again. We're a 12th place team at this moment in time. We need to go back on a resurgence, and we need to be honest that players of the caliber of Kylian Mbappe will be heading to a club of Real Madrid stature or maybe Manchester City. Now let's move on with the rest of the video. What was very interesting for me was that you need to hit the like button, and if you haven't done so just now, why haven't you? Guys, we haven't hit 1,000 likes for literally the whole of June. I need you lot to do me a massive favor. You made it this far, you're clearly enjoying the video. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And another thing, if you guys want to see what I'm up to on this holiday, whether it's paragliding, whether it's skydiving, or whether it's like swimming in what's it called, beautiful locations, follow me there. Hit me up with your favorite football related questions. It's in a pinned comment. That's where my Instagram is. That's how we build the community, and that's how you guys get to know me past just, oh my god, I'm the Chelsea fan creator. Now let's move on with Alright, so now we've got 3 stories in one, and we're going to talk about them all in chronological order. First, we're going to start with the one and only Romelu Lukaku. What's going on since they've lost the Champions League final, and Romelu Lukaku, in my opinion, did a Romelu Lukaku where the big chance comes to him on the big occasion, and obviously Rom's not going to take it, whether it's the Europa League final and he blocks it off the line or misses a couple of sitters, whether it's the game against Croatia at the World Cup where he gets 5 opportunities, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 opportunities and misses, whether it's the Champions League final now, Rom is 4 yards out. Brother, you're one of the best strikers in the world, allegedly. Please, pick a corner. pick a corner. It's not difficult. You're meant to be on the table with Benzema, Kane and Lewandowski. You said that, not me. Your words were you don't get the plaudits. You don't get the credit. You don't get the respect you deserve. I heard this from Romelu Lukaku on many occasions. This is why you don't get the respect you deserve, because you don't finish your chances. And I'm sorry, that's the fact of the matter. Now, we need to talk about what's going to happen with Romelu Lukaku. Well, what's going to happen with Romelu Lukaku is Chelsea have told him he can stay. He can stay next year at Chelsea, and they would like for him to make it work. Romelu Lukaku is not interested. This is a negotiation ploy from Chelsea. Under no circumstances do Chelsea want him to stay, in my opinion. I think Chelsea are content with the fact that they need to move him off the books. And Todd Bowley has had his meeting. And Todd Bowley has had a meeting in Saudi Arabia to try and get this deal done. And what meeting is it? Number one, it's a meeting with the Saudi, owner of Al Hilal. It's a team that was looking to acquire Messi. Now they looked into Neymar, and somehow they're going to end up with Romelu Lukaku. So they're offering Romelu Lukaku verbally, who has already had meetings with them, 20 million a year. I don't think that number is high enough for him to go there. However, I do think if they bump that number up a little bit, they could acquire the talents of Romelu Lukaku. I think Lukaku would most probably love going there and being a franchise player and being the face of a team in a league where Ronaldo's the face of a team, Benzema's the face of the team. I think he would believe that at his current stature, he most probably could be the best player in that league. So for me right now, this is very interesting to see what happens with that move. Chelsea will try to flip him. We can most probably even get a transfer value for him at this early stage. Inter Milan basically said, unless it's a loan and unless we can figure out some special way of making a deal, this deal is not going to happen for Inter Milan. However, one deal that could happen for Inter Milan is Kalidou Koulibaly. Koulibaly is a player that came to Chelsea. The deal didn't really work out the way that everyone anticipated this deal to work out. It was something that really started okay and then slowly started decreasing, and only to pick up at the very end where he pulled his hamstring and was out for the rest of the season. So we need to be very open and honest about we haven't seen the best version of Kalidou Koulibaly. A lot of people are going to say, yes, we have Alex, he's just not good enough for the Prem. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's us jumping to conclusions like we always do within the first 12 months. And if you look at the repertoire of players that have come in 12 months hasn't been enough to actually give us a good indication of who they are. Riyad Mahrez at Manchester, Bernardo Silva at Manchester City, Jack Grealish at Manchester City, even Partey, I would say, at Arsenal came in. You couldn't tell that he was going to be this world-class player he is now. He struggled to settle in. The pace is different. The athleticism required in this league is a bit different. The time on the ball is different. So players need time to settle down. But Inter Milan are going to try and make him their priority. They might even try to acquire him on a loan with an option to buy or an obligation to buy. Chelsea need the cash and Chelsea want the cash. So if they can move him off the books, they will. I'm dead serious when I tell you now, Chelsea are going to be keen to start selling quick before that 30th of June deadline. And this is the big but, right? Chelsea aren't going to be taken for monks. So if needed, he will stay. And what is interesting in his stature now is that Koulibaly will be happy to go back, but at the same time, he won't be opposed to staying in England. So this is going to be a very fluid move, and we're going to find out as time goes on. The big one is Andre Onana. People have asked me, Alex, what are your views? I've actually had people DM me on Instagram asking me about my views on Andre Onana. And you know what? I appreciate that. It shows that you lot are interacting, and it shows that you lot actually care about my opinion, which is lovely to hear. Thank you very much. Like, I'm actually blessed and privileged that I have a platform where I can talk about football, and so many people want to appreciate my views and listen to me. You don't always have to agree with me. I couldn't care less if you don't agree with me, as long as you keep it respectful and tell me why I'm wrong. We all good and we're all Gucci. That's why we're all here. But the big thing, I think Onana with his feet is one of the best goalkeepers in the world. We've seen that in the Champions League final. It was up for display and everybody saw it and everyone appreciated it. Pep came out and raved about him to the point where I thought, right, is Pep going to try sign him or something? He just gives a team another dimension. I think his shot stopping is very decent. I am a little bit worried with him coming and collecting crosses. I think he's on the shorter side of goalkeepers. But what I do like about him is he is him. He's got the personality of a keeper that believes he's one of the best in the world. He's got the personality of a keeper that he talks rubbish to people. He absolutely has an ego of I'm one of the best keepers. He's got something Kepa has. It's just Kepa can't back it up. In this case, Onana can back it up. And I'm not saying Onana's one of the greatest goalkeepers in the world. I'm not saying Onana's one of the solutions to Chelsea's goalkeepers issue, because I haven't seen enough to make a definitive suggestion like that, but I can tell you he would be an upgrade on Kepa Arrizabalaga, and I also think he'd be an upgrade on Edouard Mendy. Inter Milan want us to basically tell them how serious we are about this deal, because the range of 42 to 52 million pounds will be enough to secure Andre Onana. But I think this is the problem here. This is going to be the massive problem. We need to move Edu, or we need to move Kepa Arrizabalaga before anything of this deal happens, anything on this deal happens, because Chelsea will not be having 3 first choice goalkeepers on the books. They just cannot afford it. It's not feasible, and it's silly and stupid in my opinion to do. So we're going to have to sell Edu, we're going to have to sell Kepa, and then only then we can bring in a new goalkeeper. It is going to put disruptions and a spanner into the works. However, that's just the way the season works. Chelsea are going to have this meeting, I think, midweek this week, so maybe on a Wednesday, maybe on a Thursday. We're going to find out more. I'll be keeping you lot in the loop. I'll be keeping all of you in the loop. So let's round up this video. Kylian Mbappe will not be joining Chelsea. As much as a lot of you want it, I don't think this is going to happen. Lukaku's way out of Chelsea could be via Saudi Arabia for a beautiful blockbuster move where he gets a lot of money. I don't want him to do it from a Lukaku standpoint. I think he's still got a lot of ability to give in Europe. Kalidou Koulibaly is a top priority for Inter Milan. They're desperate for centre-halves and they really rate the player. And finally, last but not least, Andre Onana is a player that Chelsea are genuinely interested for, but is a deal that's going to be very expensive, in the region of 52 million pounds at a max. If you guys made it this far, number one, you're absolute G's. So in the comments below, drop a pineapple, let me know, so I know who the real ones are that watch it till the very end. Number two, go and follow me on the gram. It does a massive difference to me. Honestly, it really does. I really appreciate every single one of you that do it in the pinned comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. See you guys around. I'm going to have some breakfast now and then go to the gym and then hit the beach. Peace out. I'm out. Have a lovely day.